Hello everybody and welcome into the first round of the Snowy Eagle at Cove Valley in Mercersburg, Pennsylvania. This is at a Christian camp. Today we're just going to be focusing on our teammate player Kevin Yuen and what he's able to do in this first round. He'll be playing in MA1 with fellow competitors Jackson Morrow, Pasquale Coppola, and David Wardner. 474 feet, par 4. Statistically the most difficult hole in the course, bringing in an average of 4.79 strokes. Kevin goes with the proxy here off the tee and absolutely launches it. Upshot with the proxy, doesn't get enough turn on it, hits a little early. Low upshot with the range. Nice bounce off that tree. Tap in par. 140, par 3. Goes with the range again right up the middle. Gets knocked down a little early. Has himself a long putt to start his round out. And absolutely cashes it. Here we've got a 232 par 3. Yanks it a little right. He really wanted to head for the pine trees right up the middle. Another long bid. Goes with an Annie floater. It does hyzer out, but wraps around the basket. He goes with a straddle putt here. Try to save his par. Unfortunately unable to connect. He's going to take a bogey. Here we're looking at 406 feet, par 4, up the mountain. Really takes a good first long drive, followed by a second long drive. Kev gives it a good pull, but unfortunately gets kicked off to the right. Nice hyzer line up through the trees. Unfortunately, again, gets kicked to the right. Now he's got a long par putt here. Wraps around the tree and just misses going in the cage. He's going to take another bogey. Now we're looking at 347 downhill through a lot of trees, par 3. This is the second most difficult hole on the course. He was able to get real lucky with the double tree kick pushing him forward. Gives a big high off to the right floater putt and finishes off with a par. Another 347 par 3. This is up a hill. You kind of want to throw out into this open area if you don't have a good roller. Little pitch up with the range again down into the bowl where you'll find the basket sitting in between all these trees. Takes another par. 760 foot par 4 here. Kev was able to get the furthest drive on the card. Got some nice anti-flex out of that. Here's where we'd like to thank our sponsors, Daddy Disc Golf. Find them at www.daddydiscgolf.com. Kev approaches with a rive for a second shot. Unfortunately, it goes about 50 feet long. He's got this comebacker for birdie. Gets it between the trees. Unfortunately, doesn't connect. Takes the par. 200 foot, par 3. You're just kind of poking and praying that you can get something to get down into the giant hole. Kev lands on the walking path here. Gives a solid effort bid. Finishes here for par. Another challenging hole here on the shorts. This is 495, par 4. OB pond as you can see, but off to the left there's also a creek that runs OB the whole length of the hole. Kev's able to get a nice drive out there, landing in the middle after a tree hit. Decides to go entropy backhand up towards the pond on this shot. Hits the top edge of the grass knoll and is able to slide down around the backside of the basket. Sets himself up here for a birdie. And connects. 197 par 3 over a little creek. There is OB off to the right. It's a fence line inside the woods. Kev hits a tree out near the basket, plops him down right here for a birdie look. Again connects even though it was left low side. 304 feet, par 3. Mando left of that tree on the right. Kevin smashes a mid-range right down the middle. I do believe this was his hex. Comes up a little bit short, sets himself up for a long birdie putt. Big floater goes right in the heart. Kev's 2 down at this point. This is 284 par 3, OB pond on the left, and then OB line on the right along those trees. He gets a nice drive out to the right side of the basket here. Sets up a birdie look. and disc drops right at the end. Moving on to course hole number 18. This is a 203-foot par 3 up the hill to an island basket. Anything short of that road with the log there is played as hazard. Somehow goes from out of bounds to back in bounds. Straddle putt up for the birdie, leaves it a little wide right. Now we're at the easiest hole on the course at 277-foot par 3. 57% of the field birdied it in this round. That was 8 birdies out of the 14 players. Kev drives with a balance, goes long left, and unfortunately airballs his first putt of the round. Makes the comeback putt for par. Moving on to the third most difficult hole of the event here in this round with 0 birdies. 258-foot par 3 with an elevated basket. You're throwing uphill off the tee, and then you got to play and manage trying to get into this basket without a vicious roll away. Kev plays smart and lays up and then taps in. With 3 holes left to go, we move on to 252-foot par 3. Little elevation change, high to low. Kev tries to go putter at the basket, but still ends up sending it deep. Gives himself a long birdie putt. Little camera focus issue there, thanks to my finger. Misses the birdie putt, gives himself a short little tap in for par. Then we move on to 199-foot par 3. Unfortunately, just leaves it a little too far right, banks it off that tree. Range on the upshot, pulls a little right again. Gives himself this long par putt look. And again drains it. And then we're going to finish out on 197-foot par 3. Just as he was getting ready to go off the tee, he said, "Brandon, left or middle?" I said left. He turns around and says thank you to give himself a final birdie on the round and get it -3.